Hello all and welcome to our webinar, Hidden Impacts of COVID-19 on Economics and Enterprises in China. My name is Ray and I'll guide you through this webinar. By my side is Anna, our researcher, to give you her insights in the market today.
Hi everyone, thanks for having me. It's my pleasure to be here to participate in the webinar. It's a pity that our camera is not working properly today, so only our voice here but not our pretty faces.
Well, our voices are charming enough to attract the audience. All the information we provide are from our CC and industry development platform under COVID-19 and our newsletters. You can review the exit entry policies and measures and relevant news during COVID-19 pandemic in different countries. And you can also understand the industry developments in China under COVID-19 by reading our research insight on our platform. Don't forget to contact our team if you have any questions and inquiries regarding market intelligence in China. The agenda for this webinar is as follows. First, we'll have an overview about the epidemic and domestic and overseas. Then, we'll talk about the hidden impacts of COVID-19 on economic and enterprises in China. The next topic will be expert review on the coffee processing industry during the epidemic as example. And at the end, we'll also have a look at the industry trend in China under the impact of the COVID-19. Okay, without further delay, let's get started with the presentation. As you can see on our platform, the overseas outbreak developed increasingly serious. 188 countries have reported confirmed cases of COVID-19, of which more than 60 countries declare emergency. Community infection has been detected in nearly 100 countries. There are 4 countries to be taken as example to show you the current situation, which are China, United States, Italy, and Spain. Apparently, the number of infections in China has stabilized and is falling gradually. Due to the China government's swift response, the epidemic has been contained now. In the meantime, we notice the number of infections of foreign countries is increasing rapidly. While the China is falling, there are reasons to believe that they are going through what we've been through. Therefore, from my perspective, as one of the world's largest economies, the impact of COVID-19 on China has a referential value for predicting foreign countries' economic developments. Anna, since you'll be here, I wonder if foreign countries will go through the situation as China under the COVID-19. I believe there must be some more details you can share with us. How the coronavirus impact develops in the current situation worldwide?
Okay, as you're aware, the global airline industry has been hit hard because of the pandemic. Flight cancellations becomes the norm, and on March 22nd and 23rd, 2 days, about 40,000 flights have been cancelled globally. And several countries have recently closed their ports as well. The sea transportation have been also been affected. For example, Thailand has closed 51 border ports in emergency. And America is also in an emergency operation to close 2 terminals. And in March 26, 2020, South Africa's Transnet Port Terminal Group has announced plans to comply with the government's quarantine policy. The transportation ports are closing, including the South Africa's largest iron ore port. More and more ports will be forced to close until the outbreak is contained. Well, according to these policies and actions have been taken, it must cause the following results. The epidemic caused a sharp decrease in air transportation capacity, and the cost of airline transportation increased sharply. Ordinary costs for the e-commerce goods can no longer afford the high air freight. Instead, they chose to use sea or road transportation, which lengthened the cross-border transportation chain, and the inventory turnover rate is reduced. The efficiency of capital flow is also reduced, and the company's cash flow is tighter. The lockdown of the city and even the country due to the intensive epidemic situation abroad will lead to inadequate manpower in customs clearances, traders, warehouses. So the efficiency of cargo handling will be greatly reduced. A large amount of cargo will be backlogged in the terminal, stranded in the warehouse, and both the seller and logistics will be suffer. And our international trips are also being effective. A lot of countries have announced travel restrictions during the epidemic, and medias have also been released relevant news. Like us, like we have to cancel the CAC FIC trip to Shanghai and our business trip to UK, Germany, and France these few months, and also the IFT in the US. Lots of exhibitions, workshops, and summits are postponed or being cancelled, which makes the in-time and accurate market intelligence more important. And that's why we launched our industry development platform to like under COVID-19 to monitor the global situation and show the real-time exit entry policy and measure in different countries, and also show the local news related to COVID-19. Besides, our researchers share their insights on their impacts towards different industry in China on the platform. And we gather the policy government like the policy government introduced for reference. And we are also holding more webinars this month to share our insights we have.
Okay, thanks for sharing. Let's move to the next part. In March, the National Bureau of Statistics released the data on the operation of the national economy. From January to February, consumption, investment, and industrial production contracted sharply from the data of these 2 months. Data shows that the total retail sales of consumer goods was 5,213 billion Chinese yuan, a year-on-year decrease of 20.5%, and the national investment in fixed assets, including farmers, was 332.3 billion yuan, a year-on-year decrease of 24.5%. Meanwhile, the industrial production has also contracted significantly. From January to February, the industrial added value actually decreased by 13.5% year-on-year. Export delivery value was also greatly affected, with a year-on-year decrease of 19.1%. This reflects the impact of the shutdown. Anna, can you please elaborate on the current situation of China economics and enterprises under the coronavirus?
Yes, although their consumption, investment, and industry production have all shrunk sharply in the first 2 months, and many indicators have fallen the most in history. But overall, the demand for production is considerable. Basic industry and epidemic prevention materials are well guaranteed.
Yet, we do feel the effect. There was a time that we could hardly get the masks supply in early February. We had to work from home, but soon afterwards, the government dealt with it soon, and in 2 weeks, we were all able to buy masks.
Yes, the supplies of the daily necessity and utilities are sufficient. The online economic is developing well, and the government policy and measure powerful and promising. And according to the head of the Ministry of Commerce Department of Market Operation and Consumption, Wang Bing, who said at the press conference last Saturday, April 28, the daily necessities have all seen price fall in March. For China, it seems many things will recover very soon. For abroad, I'm afraid not. From my point of view, due to the different cultures and beliefs, foreign governments have to find a way that is acceptable for the acceptable for the people to prevent the crowd gatherings and to make them cooperate for the policy and measures so that can minimize the community transmission. Otherwise, the policies might be promoted with many difficulties and can't achieve the effect as same as China did. For the current view, I believe it will take longer to get recovered for Western countries, and from the charts we have seen, we have to admit the effects of the outbreak are only just beginning.
Yes, the situation abroad is not optimistic right now, but I think it's also good news that we have been through all of it that they are going to. They already have a template for dealing with the coronavirus. For China, it's rather happy that everything's getting better, but it's still not the time to relax. That's why the cinemas, KTVs, and other entertainment venues are still not allowed to be operated for preventing crowd gathering. Well, it's pity that we can't have community activities. I miss that for long.
Yeah, who doesn't? We have lovely teams who work well. Speaking of this, the Chinese economy is facing some difficulties and challenges in the short term. The first is the problem of industry chain and the value chain fracture. Normally, small enterprises are involved in the production process of all enterprises. To this end, the government has introduced a series of policies help help the small and medium enterprises survive the epidemic. In addition, international cooperation of some industries were effective due to the epidemic. Before mid-February, international transportation of goods was hindered to a certain extent, resulting in some Chinese-related industries they lost part of their international market during the month. However, in late February, the epidemic situation in China has been basically controlled, and the transportation industry has resumed operation in succession. The freight volume of and shipments of Chinese port have rebounded rapidly. In early March, China's import and export trade freight volume has returned to the historical levels. After hitting a low point, it took less than 1 week for China's overall import and export trade to resume.
Regarding the import and export data in China, I see China's imports and export surveys did give a better review on China's imports and exports. It's more important to have it this year to keep a closer eye on the market.
Yes, I can't agree more. Especially the first two quarters, the detailed analysis will show the influences we've got. The timing and accurate data is more important than usual. It will be too sensitive to discuss further, so let's move on to the next point. From the nature and trend of the changes in the main indicators, the impact of the epidemic is short-term and generally controllable. And part of the impact refers to the price to be paid to fight the epidemic. So there is no need to overemphasize the negative side. Generally, the total economic volume in the second half of the year accounts for 55% of the whole year and 45% in the first half of the year, with only about 20% in the first quarter. As long as the economy recovers faster after the second quarter, we will have the opportunity to make up for the economic losses from January to February. In addition, the size of the economy is still considerable and the ability to repair itself is strong. Although the economic from January to February was severely impacted, production capacity was not effective. From January to February, the total output value of industrial enterprises above designated size reached 11.5 trillion yuan. The total retail sales of consumer goods was 5.2 trillion yuan, and the total investment in fixed assets was 3.3 trillion yuan. In order to do a good job of preventing and controlling the epidemic, the production capacity of protective materials expanded rapidly, and this increasing emergency demand was met in a short period of time. During the period of January to February, the output of molasses and alcohol increased by 127.5% and 15.6% respectively year-on-year. Agriculture production is less effective, and the supply of agricultural products is basically stable. At present, the supply of agricultural resources such as seeds, fertilizers, and pesticides is sufficient. At the end of January, the number of sows capacity of breeding sows was 17.74 million, an increase of 3.9%. Even in the most severe areas, basic necessity of people are still guaranteed. The outbreak coincided with the Spring Festival, and in general, the impact on demand was greater than the impact on the supply, and impact on the service industry was greater than other industry, and the impact on the production capacity was limited. The explosive growth of the online consumption and smart economic has changed some of the negative effects and opened up new space for high-quality economic development. As you know now, other countries' situation are just like us in late January. A lot of impacts are just getting started, and different cultures and habits and concepts will lead to a longer responding time to make things get back to normal. But for China market, it's opening up a new big opportunity.
Well, from what you said, I can get the COVID-19 outbreak did bring some opportunities to the economy, not all negatives. Let's take one industry as an example to see its trend. Let's say the cool deep processing industry. How has the industry changed under the COVID-19? Can you let us learn a bit of the trend of this industry in the current China situation?
In early February, affected by the spread of the coronavirus, road traffic control was implemented in most parts of the country, and villages and roads began to be closed everywhere. Grain sales progress was stagnant, and poor logistics led to a decline in the circulation of new grain, making it difficult for companies to acquire more. With the consumption of raw corn during the spring festivals, the company's inventory gradually decreased, and even the situation of tightness, especially in North China, the periodical supply shortage appeared, and some companies delayed production. Therefore, the national average monthly price of corn in February was 1,856.67 per ton, which was 41.26 per ton higher than the average price in January. A month-on-month increase of 2.27% and a year-on-year increase of 2.19%. In order to alleviate the tight supply of raw materials for feed breeding and deep processing enterprises, the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Affairs issued an emergency notice on February 4, maintaining the normal production order of the animal husbandry industry and ensuring the supply of meat, eggs, and milk, and issue six articles, including the prohibition of road breaking and the guarantee of construction specific measure. At 9 of February 4th, the National Grain and Oil Information Center will introduce measures to launch a policy-based corn auction on February 7th. And the first batch of 2.96 million tons was released, releasing a strong signal to expand supply, thereby alleviating the supply shortage price rises. Starting from the late February, Logistics and transportation gradually improved. Corn purchase and sales gradually started, and the market supply gradually became abundant. With the continuously release of policy plan, except for parts of Wuhan in the southern south area, the arrival of corn has improved in central and southwest China, which has eased the overall time supply situation. The demand for the processing of corn mainly includes corn starch and corn alcohol. After the Spring Festival, the operation rate of corn starch industry has continued to drop sharply to about 40%, which is significantly lower than the level of the same period in the past 2 years, while corn alcohol's operating rate was higher than the same period of the year. The performance of corn starch and corn alcohol is very different. The reason is mainly due to the different needs of the downstream affected by the epidemic. After the COVID-19 occurred, the market demand for disinfection products, including 75% alcohol, increased, driving up the price of alcohol. Improving profits and the industry's operating rate was higher than the same period last year. The shrinking demand for cornstarch due to the epidemic situation drove the industry's operating rate to decline sharply. On one hand, due to the high purchase price of more corn, production costs increase accordingly, and the production companies have to reduce output to maintain operations. On the other hand, a decrease in demand from downstream affected the operating rates.
Okay, from your information, we learned that the impact of COVID-19 is varied from different industry. Not all negatives, but some opportunities is hidden. What will be changed, do you think, after the COVID-19?
Well, during the epidemic, artificial intelligence, remote office work, internet plus medical plus pharmacy, etc., growing fast. Despite the market downturn, consumption of information, protective supplies, health supplies increased significantly. Food sales from January to February increased by 9.7 year-on-year. New types of consumption and upgrade consumption are constantly expanding, and new consumption models are developing rapidly. So after the epidemic, if you ask me, these four industries might flourish. First is the Chinese online shopping capacity will further increase after the epidemic. Second, the artificial intelligence and robot applications will accelerate. And third, the importance of community business is gradually uh, emerging. Last is the food safety and health issues are more important, plus the health industry will change. Let's talk about the e-commerce. The online shopping becomes the only free way left to purchase daily supplies. More and more niche apps are being discovered, market, compared, and eliminated. The demand has never been so great and clear. Therefore, the application side has enough information to understand the user demand so as to better develop the application and promote the development of the e-commerce market. The market is becoming more competitive, but also more opportunities. In China, the epidemic provides an opportunity to improve the capacity of online shopping. The online shopping has never been so important, and its conveniences has been magnified in this outbreak. Due to this epidemic last so long, many people who didn't shop online before have also developed a habit of shopping online. So I believe even after the epidemic, online shopping will remain the dominant way of shopping. No matter what industries seize this opportunity to develop their own online platform can be helpful. The outside, food safety and health issues are giving great still under the coronavirus outbreak. New regulation is coming soon, and health ingredients will be more popular. Functional foods and drinks that enhance immunity and protein-rich food and plant-based meats will meet a new opportunity. Overall, the short-term impact of the epidemic on consumption is large, and it will be moderate in the medium term. With the introduction of a series of national and local policies to promote consumption recovery and potential release, later consumption will gradually recover. During the epidemic, the country's daily necessities market was adequately supplied. The epidemic has caused China's market and circulations to withstand a severe test, but it will not change the development trend of long-term stability and continuously upgrading of China's consumption.
Okay, thanks, Anna. That leads us to the end of this webinar. Tomorrow, we'll have the agrochemical webinar to talk about challenges and opportunities under the COVID-19. It will be held at 6 to 6:30 p.m. on Friday. 5 to 5:30 p.m. we'll have another chemical webinar. Please contact your account to register or check our web to see the detail. Thank you all very much for attending, and we hope you could get some key points out of the presentation. If you have any questions left, please write them down in the chat box or send to your account manager. We'll get back to you by email as soon as possible. All the information was enabled by our brand CCN and Chainalysis. If you want to find out more, I recommend you to have a look at our website and contact our team for any questions and inquiries. Thanks again and have an awesome day. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.